Hey everybody, Mary Beth. I'm going to talk about our scenario with the Brown family. So I chose scenario one where Dave and Sharon come in and they tell the counselor, me, in the sixth session that they are going to do a separation which will lead to divorce. This threw me off just a little because I think 6 sessions in, you're pretty far in, so I think I'd have to probably change some things and maybe go back on some things, especially since I'll probably be using integrative family therapy, and so I would have thought maybe by session 6 I would be working with the kids and doing and the entire family doing some assessments, some goal cards, and I think you'd have to kind of take a stop and take a break, and then you would have to redo some things because there's definitely going to be new goals and new outcomes for this family after this news. I think for the next 3 sessions, so the first session I would have with just the two adults, Sharon and Dave. So I would do some normalizing. I think that would help with them, just to let them know that they're not the only family that goes through this. They're not the only couple that has these issues. And maybe definitely show some empathy and kind of pay some compliments, and especially saying it's really brave that you're coming in and seeking therapy and seeking ways that this will how learn how to cope with this and how to help your children with this. Kind of paying those compliments I think may be beneficial, because a lot of people they don't take that extra step, and they may not be aware of all the benefits, but definitely doing that with this couple, letting them know that thank you for telling me, and this is normal and we can work through this. I also think in that session I do a lot of education, so a lot of talking about the family roles. So okay, you guys are pieces and parts of a whole, so let's talk about what this looks like, what this is going to look like. Kind of start building that education for them to know what to expect. I even like the block therapy technique. So maybe even showing, like these are the building blocks of the family, and this is what happens when we take Sharon away half the time. Things can topple over. So you have to work and build things a little bit differently on Dave's shoulders for half the time, if he's going to have the kids half the time, and show, okay, you can't keep things the same, because if we take Sharon away, everything falls apart. But if we shift and we move and we change, we can still have a nice family unit when Sharon's away. So I think that would be interesting to show just the adults that, these are things that are going to happen, and, we're going to need you to be a foundation for the rest of the family and for the children. So for the second session, I would definitely work with the whole family. So I would talk about, because I've already educated the parents, so they have an idea about what to expect. So now we're working with the whole family. And so we're saying, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to change. Your role is going to change. Things can't stay the same. So going over roles of the family, and then also going over rules of the family. So talking about what rules that each family member is going to have to work on, and what they're going to be responsible for, and things that they can and can't do, because things are going to get a lot difficult. They're going to get more difficult. And then for the third session, I would talk about, so how are we going to go forward? One of the techniques that I really liked in this theory is the family meetings. So they're still a family. I think that is something that I would highly stress, is that you are still a family, even though things are going to change and people may not be there like they were there. So I would personally want to say, can we still have family meetings? Yes, do family meetings. Let's plan on doing a family meeting once a month, once every 6 weeks with the whole family. And then I would suggest that the parents meet as their role as the parental role. Whether they're apart or together, they still have that role as parents. So I'd want them to meet to talk about how things are going with the children, how they are co-parenting. Whether they're married or not, they're still co-parenting. So those are things that I would want to put in place. That way the family could work on those in the future. And so for the answer for the workbook question, so what family do I think could use some psychoeducational help? I have a friend who is married and they have 3 kids, and she is a stay-at-home mom, and this was something that was decided dually by her and her husband. But it seems that if they fight and when they fight, it's about how she stays at home and how he has to go to work, and that she doesn't understand what it's like when he goes to work and he comes home and he doesn't want to deal with the children because he's worked all day. And then she comes back and says, I have worked all day. I've been with 3 kids. So I think they have this idea of the roles. I think both of their ideas of roles that they both play in the family are different. And I think that they could both use some education and some help to learn how to cope with these ideas, how to possibly change some of their thinking, or to see the other person's side and communicate better. It seems like every time they fight, that's the one thing that they focus on, and they never come to a resolvement about it. They just leave it alone, and then they act like nothing happened. So I think if they could maybe have some tips and tools to work through those communication issues and their ideas about the roles of the family, I think that would be very helpful for them. Okay, well, it's been fun with you guys. All right, take care.